good opening night for our guys. A lot of different ways. I thought Gardner Webb kids really competed, played really hard, didn't back down at all physically, and you know, obviously had a good run. We let our guard down there up 26-13, and they got some confidence, made a couple plays. We had a couple bad turnovers that led to a couple baskets, and you know, we go into halftime and they've got all the momentum, and so we needed to face a little adversity. We got some, and I thought our older players really responded. Defensively, obviously, we were tremendous in the second half. Our guys really bared down and held them to 15 points. Took them a long time to score, especially to make the field goal. And I thought, you know, we did some better things. We played a lot of the older guys a lot of the minutes, so offensively we executed some things reasonably well. We had some careless turnovers, and that's the bugaboo for tonight, was we can't have 18 turnovers in a game like this. But all in all, I thought it was really good for us to have to play a game like this, where we played a team that was physical and got after us a little bit, and made a run, and we responded out of the second half and finished it off pretty well.
Forced 6 turnovers, I think, in the first 3.5 minutes of the second half. What did you tell the team at halftime?
Just that because of the way the half ended, that we've given them a lot of confidence, and there were a few hustle plays that you know, we didn't have many offensive rebounds at halftime. I don't know if we only had 1 or 2. We didn't miss a lot of shots, so there weren't a ton of opportunities. You know, they had more free throw attempts than we did at the half. And I said, the way the game's going, fellas, momentum is shifting, and they're starting to win the hustle plays. And I can understand some bad execution and some mistakes, but I don't accept not hustling and playing hard. And I don't know that we necessarily weren't playing hard. We just needed to compete a little bit better, a little bit smarter. And I told them it was critical for us to reestablish the flow of the game, the attitude of the game, and the confidence in the game right away. And fortunately for us, we did a good job in that first 4 minutes.
Coach, it was no surprise, I guess, it was Andre and Tanner in that first 5 minutes, the second half, that kind of started that spark.
Yeah, they played well. Andre had a great game, very efficient, you know, and shot the ball really well. It was good to see TJ Sapp make some threes. That helped a lot. And then Tanner just, you know, Tanner's just one of those kids that knows the game, so he knows how to get involved in plays. You know, you look at his stats, and he's got obviously the 5 turnovers we can't have, but 14 rebounds, you know, 5 assists or 8 assists, 5 steals, 2 blocks. I mean, he's involved. He knows how to be involved in plays, and that's maturity, experience, IQ. You know, those are things that are undervalued sometimes. And then that's why that guy plays 33 minutes, and those minutes are critical. So he played exceptionally well as well. And I thought Milk gave us some really positive minutes. Maybe could have finished a couple more and had a really big night, but he was solid. Devin just didn't finish as many plays as we would have liked. Maybe didn't get the ball as much at times, but they did a good job. They were banging on him and kept shuffling post players in there to bounce him around a little bit, and you know, he just didn't quite have one of his better ones, but that was a good experience for him.
Knowing Andre is going to be higher up on scouting reports, what did you challenge him to improve this offseason to get ready for that? Well,
you know, you just keep working on his shot like he always has, to develop a little bit quicker release so he can get shots off. Continue to work on his shot fake, because people are going to run at him, and he's pretty good at those 2 things. And then really just continue to work on his ball handling, and he's still got to keep doing that and get more clever with ball screen offense, and clever of making plays in small spaces, and you know, that'll continue to get better through the course of the season.
What do you feel like TJ's done during a lot of playing time? Is it more offensively or defensively?
You know, it's more defensively initially, just from the standpoint of, you know, he provides another guy that can jam the ball. He has enough quickness to hang and chase cutters off screens and do things of that nature, maybe a little bit better than Tanner at the 2 and Brian at the 3. That, you know, we'll play that way some, but there are other times when that just maybe isn't as good for us. We don't have quite as much speed and movement offensively. Defensively, it's not as easy for those guys to guard those types of players. So I think it's a combination. And then Rod obviously guards you know, the next best out of the freshmen, and so that's why he plays the next most. And then, you know, the other guys just got to keep getting better.
Coach, is it more impressive that TJ had 11 points or just 1 turnover in 30 minutes?
Equally impressive because TJ's nature is to try to be more aggressive than I want him to be right now. He's got to learn to play within himself. He's not the best player on our team. He's used to being the best player. He's used to being a guy that's got to make a play every time. And at this level, he thinks he can make plays on the first side that don't get made. They become turnovers. And so I'm trying to just get him to understand better of when to play quick and when to play slow, and when to read, and when to take open shots and shoot good percentages because you're shooting good shots, as opposed to forcing things like he did against Queens. He was terrible. I mean, offensively, he had 2 air balls or bad shots and 1 block 3, and you know now this game he played more like the scrimmage against Georgia, where he made a couple threes in the Georgia scrimmage and was more efficient, and you know, didn't try to do too much, and he had a very good line.
Brad, do you who's the guy on this roster, or is there one yet, who takes that DeMontes role of penetration and getting the ball?
That's where we have to get better. We don't have, you know, TJ needs to get better at that. Andre needs to get better at that. Tanner's going to have to help us do that. That's the thing that's becoming a little bit of a problem for us, is learning how to do that, be more of a slasher and slice in there, and you know, make tough layups and floaters. And you know, TJ had a nice little floater in the first half, maybe his first basket of the game. But we need that, and we don't really quite have that as much as we would like.
With a team this young, can you talk a little bit about the role that your 2 upperclassmen have got to be the leaders in this team?
Tanner and Andre have, you know, they are clearly our leaders. I just need to, you know, it's just a constant battle with Andre to be as vocal as he needs to be. It's just not in his nature. But in all honesty, I don't accept that. That's just not what it needs to be for our team. He has to. He's got the ball in his hands. He has to direct us. He has to tell his teammates. He has to tell them things that they don't want to hear. And Andre doesn't like to do that. Tanner can do that more. Tanner's more confident, more outgoing. You know, he has no problem doing those things. But we need, especially on the court direction, we need Andre to want to continue to do that. And some of that's because he wasn't raised a point guard, and so he's not used to doing that. And you know, over the course of the last year, we've been trying to groom him to be more of that. And he'll get better with that through the course of the season. You know, as he plays well like he did tonight, that just gives him more confidence. You know, what he doesn't realize is with how much respect the other players view him. The other players on the team view him with the utmost respect because he's an incredible worker. He's an efficient player, a good player, and guys know he knows what to do. So they view him in even higher regards than he understands.
Brad, it looked like as much of the plays went through Tanner as they did anybody else out there. I mean,
you know what? Just some of it's just the way in the motion that Tanner finds himself with the ball, because he knows how to get the ball and get the ball in position to make some plays. I don't think that we ran one play for Tanner tonight. You know, we probably ran 8 or 10 plays to mix in with our offensive scheme, and none of them were geared directly for him. But now sometimes the ball gets in his hands, and he's the guy making the pass to the guys that are making the plays, and that's part of the offense being that way, and partly him recognizing what to do.
So you're not going to a point forward kind of thing?
Every once in a while he's going to have the ball, but I don't know that we're going to turn him into magic yet.
Any other questions?